This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Joe Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, August the 8th. No, he was not born 8888. That would have been cute. But anyway, this man is the top Canadian tennis player of all time. Well, right now. A lot of people would be like, oh, it's so biased and all that. Truthfully, I couldn't find anyone else that I hadn't done the previous 3 years of the Sports Catastrophe show. But anyhow, this man was once ranked number 6 in the world. And all that. Had a decent doubles ranking. He's won 5 singles tours on the ATP tour, on the male tour, of course. He actually was on the Challenger Tour, which is the minor leagues of the ATP, as young as 14 years and 11 months old. He had a successful junior career, winning the 2016 US Open Boys single title. At age 18, he made his top 25 debut on the tour and looking pretty good. He is only one of 3 players, alongside Novak Djokovic and John Isner, to actually force Rafael Nadal into a 5-set match at the French Open, because we all know about Rafael Nadal being so damn good at the French Open. But anyway, this man is huge. His name is Felix Auger Alisimme, who's now 24 years old. He was born in Brampton and raised in a suburb of Quebec City. His father is of African descent and immigrated from Togo, and his mother is of French-Canadian descent. Father was a tennis instructor who trained Felix to play tennis. So he won an ITF junior singles title at the G3 at Querétaro. And the dude was only 15 years old when he did that. At the US Junior Grand Slam, he won the doubles title with fellow Canadian icon Denis Shapovalov. Canada would win the Junior Davis Cup, which was amazing and all that. And at the French Open Juniors in 2016, he lost to Jeffrey Blankenau. But at Wimbledon, he got revenge. Well, Wimbledon, he lost in the quarters in singles and in the final doubles with Chappell. In the US Open, he won the title with a straight sets victory over Miromir Krajcikovic. He's a pretty good juniors player. And then anyway, he qualified for the ATP Challenger event in Drummondville, Quebec at age 14, at 14 and a half years old. He beat Canadian Jug Minging Lin, former world number 67 Chris Guccione, and world 43 Fritz Wollemans. Unfortunately, he had an ab strain, but he did have an ATP ranking. So at the Granby Challenger, he qualified. He beat Andrew Whittington, becoming the youngest player to win a main draw ATP Challenger match. He beat Darian King in straight sets the next round, but lost to Nishioka in 3 sets. He would be ranked number 749 on the ATP Tour. Anyway, he reached the final of a few challengers and all that, doing pretty well for himself. He won the ATP Challenger at 16 years old, winning the tournament at Lyon, France. And then he won his second ATP Challenger title in September, beating former number 56, Ingo Cervantes. He became the youngest player to break the top 200 since Rafael Nadal in 2002. Looking pretty good. So, Auger Alisimme's first ATP tournament was in 2018 at the Rotterdam Open, losing in the first round to Filip Krajinovic. He qualified for the ATP tournament in New Orleans, his first Masters 1000 main draw. In the first round, he beat Vasek Pospisil, and then lost to fellow Canadian Milos Raonic. Auger Aliassime got a wild card to compete in the main draw of the 2018 Rogers Cup, the Canadian Championships. This year, 2018 was held in Toronto. He beat Lucas Pouille of France but lost to Daniil Medvedev of Russia. He went through 3 qualifying matches to reach the main draw of the U.S. Open, but lost the first round, losing to Denis Shapovalov because he had heart palpitations. He lost a key final at Rio de Janeiro to Laszlo Dere in the ATP 500 tournament. At the Indian Wells Masters, he beat Stefanos Tsitsipas in the second round, which was huge. At the Miami Open, he got to the semifinal, becoming the youngest ever, but lost to John Isner in 2 tight sets. So he went to the Lyon Open, got to his second ATP final, but was defeated by Benoit Paire of France. At the Queen's Club, the event before Wimbledon, he lost to Feliciano Lopez. At Wimbledon, he was the 19th seed, beating Vasek Pospisil, and beat Corentin Moutet to get to the third round, but lost to Hugo Humbert, and then lost in the first round to Shapo, U.S. Open. At the 2020 Australian Open, before COVID hit, he lost his first round to Ernest Kubas. And then at the COVID rescheduled 2020 U.S. Open, he was seeded 15th and got to the fourth round, losing to Dominic Thiem, who was the eventual champion. The French Open rescheduled for later in the year in 2020, and Auger Alisimme competed but lost to Nishioka in the first round. Auger Alisimme got to the fourth round of the 2021 Australian Open but lost to qualifier Aslan Karatsev, despite being up 2 sets to love. The weird thing was he hired Rafael Nadal's uncle and former coach Tony Nadal as a new coach ahead of the clay court season. Anyway, he got to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon in 2021, beating Auger, a big match. He became the 5th Canadian man to reach the Wimbledon quarterfinals, joining Denis Shapovalov, who did so, but lost to Matteo Berrettini of Italy in the quarters. Auger Alisimme lost the first round of the Tokyo Olympics to Max Purcell, which was shocking. At the Canadian Open, he got upset by Dusan Lajovic in the second round, and at the U.S. Open, he made the major semifinals. He beat Roberto Bautista Agut, Francis Tiafoe, Carlos Alcaraz. That was a huge one, but lost to Medvedev in straight sets. He was the youngest player to play in the semifinals since 2009, making him number 11. So anyway, 2022 was his breakout year. He started at the ATP Cup, which was a kind of team competition, different than the Davis Cup. It was a little bit different, but Canada did win the title, defeating Spain. He got to the Australian Open seed at 9th and got to the quarterfinals, but lost to Medvedev in 5 sets. At the French Open, he actually got to the 4th round against Rafael Nadal and took Nadal to 5 sets. Unfortunately, though, Nadal won the set. Auger Alisimme lost in the quarters of the Canadian Open to Casper Ruud, and at the U.S. Open, he lost in the second round to Jack Draper. Anyway, at the 2022 Davis Cup, Canada would take on Australia in the final. Davis Cup is the big team event in tennis. It's akin to the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup in golf. So Canada sends their best players in singles and doubles. So Auger Alisimme teamed up with Denis Shapovalov and Vasek Pospisil for Canada's first Davis Cup finals win. They beat Germany and Italy in the knockout stages and then took on Australia and shocked them in the finals of the Davis Cup. It was like unbelievable how Canada would do such a thing like that. Unfortunately, though, 2023 was his terrible time. He was knocked out of the first round of 3 of the 4 majors. The only major he got past the first round was the Australian Open. losing to Yuri Lehecka in 4 sets. So anyway, he was trying his best and all that. This year, well, he's back in the top 20, but this year, as of taping in 2024, the Paris Olympics are not over yet, but the tennis tournament is over. He got to the semis of the Olympics in singles, taking Marcos Giron, Max Martiner, Danny Medvedev, and Casper Ruud, and beat them, making him the first Canadian player to reach the medal stage in singles at the Games. Lost to Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, and then in the bronze medal, he lost to Lorenzo Musetti. However, Auger Alisimme has an Olympic medal because he partnered with Gabriel Dabrowski in mixed doubles and took home the bronze, beating the Dutch. He's an old court tennis player and all that. His favorite tournament is the Rogers Cup. All that, and hopefully he comes play for them. So in the quarterfinals, he got to 3 quarterfinals: 2022 in Australia, 2021 Wimbledon, 2021 U.S. Open. Only winning 1 of those quarterfinals. But hey, you know what? He tried. He really did. So, not much you can say about Felix Auger-Aliassime other than the fact that, yeah, he is an up-and-coming star. Anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do.